Hello ladies and gentlemen, as we see this very serious looking warning, welcome to episode 6 of One Credit Classics, and it's the big one. It's a game that plays a massive part in your history of video gaming, in my history of video gaming, in the history of video gaming. It's probably one of the most important arcade machines of all time. It's Capcom's Street Fighter 2. Came out in 1991, written and directed by a guy called Yoshiki Okamoto, and if you look at the games that this guy was involved with, he started in the 80s with Konami, did Time Pilot and a few others, and then when he moved to Capcom in 84, just the franchises, the 1942 franchise, Sanson, Gunsmoke, Forgotten World's Final Fight, which you'll see a lot of crossovers for in this game actually. Not most noticeably maybe the Zangief character, who's got a lot of comparisons to Hager from Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, and he went on to Resident Evil as well. This was a sequel to a game that was more cultish, I suppose, than popular. The original arcade machines had a very novel kind of thing that you had to actually hit pads to. It was a really strange looking machine, but the harder it sensed, the harder you hit it, and did strikes of an appropriate kind of hardness. The sequel only retained the two characters. It only retained Ryu and Ken, who were the main two characters, but it quickly became one of the most, like I say, probably one of the most important video games of all time. Give you an idea, like numbers wise, you look at the home console ports. The SNES version came out December the 17th, 1992. It's just perfect. The timing of it's perfect. It's right in the middle of that 16-bit explosion, and it went on to sell 6.3 million copies. It was Capcom's best-selling single format, single unit title, and it really still is. Capcom, when you look at all the games in this franchise, not all the Street Fighter variants, but just the Street Fighter 2, so Championship Turbo, New Challengers, and New Challengers Turbo, 14.3 million total sales. And if you look at like the arcade cabinet revenue that they made, it's absolutely unfathomable. If you look at this one, Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior, this made coin revenue, this is $687 million. And the follow-up Champion Edition, which the only difference was that you could beat the bosses, made them over $1.6 billion. It was the point where everybody was saying that arcades were kind of dying, home consoles were getting a bit more popular and a bit more powerful, and what Capcom did with this was not only single-handedly reinvigorated the arcade market, but they inspired a new generation of video gamers, and everybody plays Street Fighter 2, and it became the benchmark standard. I ask you one question: if you play a fighting game now, 2016, and you've played it a bit and your friend hasn't played it, and they say, they pick a character and say, what are the moves? I guarantee you'll reference to this. You'll go, oh yeah, it's Ryu's Fireball. Oh yeah, it's Yoga Flame. Do you know what I mean? It's Flash Kick or Sonic Boom. Like, these were the characters, these were the moves, these were the generationally defining kind of moments. Everybody I knew loved this game, whether you played it in a proper arcade cabinet, whether you played it in one of the terrible 3-button, like just console cabinet swap ones where you only had one set of buttons. So like I played it in a video shop first of all, and it was just one of those 3 buttons, and you had hard punch, hard kick, and light punch. I seem to remember. Could be a lot worse, to be honest with you. You've got pretty much everything you need there. But yeah, it was that if you're playing like a Ryu or a Ken or something. But as playing an E-Honda, it's practically impossible because like it takes an obscene amount of hand speed to be able to maintain the hard 100 hand slap. But yeah, 8 characters, each one from a different country. Everything about this game just symbolizes everything that's great about the time and everything that's great about the arcade. So I'm so, like, as soon as I started doing this, I thought to myself, well, when are you going to do Street Fighter 2? Because I mean, it's just a part of me kind of growing up, and it's a part of everybody's kind of video gaming progressions, really. Everybody plays Street Fighter 2. Everybody. I don't care what people say. Everybody did. If you meet somebody who's not played Street Fighter 2, then they don't play video games. It is that simple. So, I'm going to try, for old time's sake, to one credit this. If this was the SNES version, by the way, I would absolutely annihilate it with Guile and like not lose a round, just because he's so overpowered on that. But on the arcade, it's a bit harder, so I'm going to have a go with Ken, I think, of all people. So, I'm psyched to do this. So psyched. Thanks for tuning in for One Credit Classics episode 6, and here we go with Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior, 1 credit clear. So here we go. Credit in. Let's get started. Can please mine. Once again, as I do better than anybody, jokes aimed at 4 people. Duck the kick, duck the kick. Oh, he didn't do it. He looked like an idiot. Right, he's going to douse him out there, really. Oh, gets me back with the throw. You'll probably notice that nice and straightforward. Just the music is so over time. It's just so perfect. Like those elephant noises were so loud on the original one that you could hear them outside. Like if you're walking past an arcade, you'd literally hear those noises, and you'd be like, "Oh, wait, there's a Street Fighter 2 machine in there." It's a genius bit of it. It's a genius bit of marketing in so many respects. Simply because it's just perfect. You recognise it. It's palpable. It's recognisable straight away. Doused him job pretty quickly. On to China, Chun-Li, only female who featured in the game. There you go, nice slow fireball there. She comes in. Just a 100-foot kick at range. I'll never understand why. Try and get a flying kick up, see if we duck under and get a throw. Oh, she threw me. Good stuff. Ken, as you can see in this version, like probably later on when he got the Flaming Dragon Punch and other stuff, he was ridiculously powerful. But Ken and Ryu in this, and probably Guile, the three best kind of playable characters in the whole game, really. Ken just hits hard. He just hits hard, and he's kind of the right balance of like power and speed, really. You get characters like Zangief, who are kind of too far in one direction. Like they're just really powerful, but just super slow. And that's Chun-Li done with minimum fuss. Fucking left trash afterwards. And speaking of Zangief, here he is, everybody's favourite Russian. Try and get a few kicks on him. The other thing with Zangief in this version was that all his attacks were so painfully perfect. Nice. All his attacks were so painfully devoid of any kind of distance that he just had to walk in, and when he walked in, he was just in it. You could just catch him all the time with like jumping kicks like that, and that, and that. Chase him with a slow fireball, and again, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not enjoying this. It's it's just painful how easy he is. Bit of sip of tea there. Oh, it's nice as well. The thing with Zangief in this was with a lot of these, really. It's the note of what counts as countering. Like with counter attacks on Street Fighter, you generally take more damage, and with this, what counts as a counter is a bit different. Like walking forward, for example, if you even tap the button and do the initial things of starting a strike, then it counts as a strike. And if you get hit on the counter, it always does a bit more damage. You get more chance of being dazed if you've been hit recently. Spam the uppercut there, simply because if you go for the Dragon Punch and mess it up, you either end up on the bonnet or you end up doing the uppercut anyway. And as you can see, without Blanca or an E-Honda or someone like that, it's hard to kind of get that done in time. It's not a bonus round that suits Ken very well. Right, Ryu next. That music is just... the thing is, it's not just that one song, is it? It's like the whole thing is just so... Every song from every level, they just knocked it out of the park. I watched a documentary recently on YouTube, and it was about like video game music, and it was just dead interesting, dead interesting. And it had like the guy who designed the Final Fantasy fanfare and loads of other bits and pieces. But it had one of the ladies on who'd done loads of the music, and she said like the only music she had left to write for the levels was Blanca's level, and she was on a train going to work, and like. Somebody walked past her and she had like a green scarf on, and it made her think of Blanca straight away. And then she said, "Oh, the little like riff on Blanca's stage just came in my head, and I had to keep singing it on the train." So I got to work, and then I just recorded it quickly and just built the parts around it. But yeah, it was amazing. Those documentaries. If I can dig those documentaries out and find them, what I'll do is I'll probably put the link in the description box actually, because it's a really long series of documentaries on video game music, and it's just dead interesting. It talks about like a load of really amazing kind of guys. Nice going through there, and it's a big part of this. Like I do like, apart from the Mickey Mouse episode where I left the music on way too loud, like I do enjoy kind of being able to hear the music side of these, because it is in essence a massive part of kind of history, really. On to Japan once again, E Honda. Very easy to drop rounds to E Honda because he has got the habit of just being able to trap you in the corner with the underhand slam. But what you really need to do is get your rhythm going. Just try and slow fireball him, really. Try and slow fireball him to death if you can. Because he'll jump and always end at just the right point. Which is there. Phenomenal. E Honda probably my favourite character at the start when I first learned to play, because obviously I didn't know any other moves, and like the ability to do 100 hand slap was kind of quite cool, I thought, back then. And nice bit of corn trap in there. That wasn't part of it. Oh, I got a throw in, that was decent. E Honda's one of those characters as well that like you find that like beginners kind of flock to him and stuff, and it's I won quite a few games like in the arcade when I play against people, and sometimes get people who are more experienced to use maybe a Ken or a Guile or a Ryu and knew a few moves. Like E Honda like wasn't the fastest, but was kind of fast enough not to get trapped and hit quite hard. And this guy, unbelievable. Guile, probably one of the hardest characters in this, to be honest with you. They had to nerf him quite a bit. Well, I say nerf him. What they did was they just made everybody else better at it. They particularly made him worse. But in the subsequent versions, like all the other characters got like new moves and do you know what I mean, and power tweaked and all the rest of it. And Guile just seemed to be the same, like as he was in all the other versions. Like he never really got any new moves. He always just had the sonic boom and the flash kick, and it just, I don't know, it was quite obvious to me that he was kind of quite a bit harder than everybody else. And when I played the home console version, like he was the hardest by miles on that. And he don't want to engage here, does he, bless him? Get a point off for timidity here. On the home console versions, he hit really hard, and his re-dizzy stuff was ridiculous, and slow sonic booms and corner traps, and he was just really hard to play against. And my good friend Martin Tran, who's probably watching this and laughing as Guile tries to jab me to death, probably one of the best Guile players I ever played against on the console versions of Street Fighter 2. And I was just blown away really by like the game that he had and the potential of someone like Guile. I mean, both of us would do it. I mean, he did it first, but we'd both regularly clear Street Fighter 2 on the SNES on level 8 without losing a round with Guile. And it was just before I started doing this, actually, I was kind of halfway through like a project on the SNES, like where I was trying to play the perfect game with Guile, trying to get perfects on every round on level 8, and I got to the furthest I ever got was I got to Sagat, perfect in every round, and then I just blew something and died. That was nonsense. That was right after the bell. Anyhow, 2 in the banks against Guile. But yeah, like Guile on the SNES version was just unfathomable. But yeah, big shout outs to Martin Tran if you're listening, by the way. Good friend of mine for the last 32 years. Makes me sound super old saying that, but we did literally meet when we were 4. Right, so next bonus stage, missed that, beautiful. Too much reminiscing, it's your fault, Tran. Oh, it's gone now. See, my head's not in it, do you know what I mean? It's like going into work when you know you're on holiday the next couple of days. Something I have a very recent experience of. Your head's not in it, do you know what I mean? You get done what you've got to get done, but I mean, you're kind of a shell of what you once were. Oh, can I get the sweep now? I better get 5 all that, can I? Oh! Off to Brazil. In fact, another popular arcade character, Blanca. You'd often find that new players would kind of flock to him just because of how he looked, really, and the fact that once again, if you hammered the buttons, you could make him spout electricity like that. Cannonballing straight up 5-all though. Bad news. Oh no, I don't need this. The problem with this is you can stay on this. See, you could kill me. Unfathomable. Flying hard punch cannonball. Terrible. I hate fighting Blanca on this. I really do. Right, enough of this. Just the way he jumps. See, that's not helping. Here again. Right there. Come on. That nonsense. Gotta be that careful. There we go. Oh, not the cleanest clear you'll ever see, but we got there in the end, didn't we? Oh. Round 3. Right, jump back a bit. A bit of space. Slow fireball. Mess it up. Beautiful. Let's try and do sweet. Nice. I'm happy with that. Same again. It's about the distance with these. Throw. Oh no, I don't need this. Slow fireball. Slow fireball again. What's he going to do here? Cannonball. Oh, God almighty, that was terrible. Absolutely. I should stop that clear there, really. That was so lucky. But still, they all count. And on to Balrog, who they changed the name from M. Bison, as you can obviously tell in the Japanese versions. Because of inevitable impending lawsuit, the fact that he was just Mike Tyson. Albeit Mike Tyson and some Daisy Dukes in a sleeveless denim waistcoat. Be careful here. Nice. Bit right now. Can I get with a hurricane kick? Yeah, with all 3 hits. Beautiful. Balrog, probably out of anybody, kind of falls for the jumping, the slow fireball sweep trap. But the problem is, if you give him any room at all, he's an absolute nightmare to try and deal with. So what you've got to try and do, see, is not this really. There we go. See, that's the problem. If he's too close, what he'll do is he'll catch you with that jumping shot. Probably got me here actually. Yeah. You've got to get that rhythm right with him. He's one of the trickiest ones on this because he relies on a set tactic that requires like really good execution. And if you kind of mess it up like at a den, once you can get a rhythm going, 9 times out of 10. Get out of the corner, out of the corner. Try again. Come on. There we go. Needed that. Oh, execution. Excellence of execution, if you will. And on to Sunny Spain. For Vega. None of these characters were playable until the sequel Championship Edition came out, and that really did cause a bit of a stir. As I said in the intro, really, it made him a massive, unfeasible, billions, literally billions of dollars, which then doesn't equate to how much money it actually is. Right, we can kick, and then and then throw, but he moved. Hopefully, there you go. If he goes over here, I should be able to jump away. Oh, I'll catch him with a flying kick, but I missed it. I should. Spam this. There we go. Tricky attack to read that is that rolling crystal flash, because all the attacks hit low, but I think there's the top one at middle or something. It's like I say, it's at an awkward range really as well. But you can jump off the wall, try and catch him with a kick. Oh, see, I didn't quite get it right there. Surely he's dazed there. Can I get a hurricane kick off in time? 1, 2, 3, and he's dazed again. And I'll just throw it. Perfect. Not a perfect, obviously, but perfect that I beat him. I am happy that these Spanish people used to see a bullfight see me just weigh in the local hero. That is an ongoing concept in this game. It should have been called Super Ticket Smasher, to be honest with you, because you really do just roll up and like fill in the local lad, don't you? Super Ticket Smasher Turbo. Take control of like Kirby or somebody. Roll up starching people. And then go back to work at a hotel in Great Yarmouth. Another bit of UK MMA folklore for you there. 2 more left. Both in Thailand. Sagat, boss of the first game. guy with two different fireballs, and I didn't know he hasn't got the Tiger Knee on this one. I think it's Turbo or Championship when he gets that. Tough to time in a lot of respects. The guy, he loves that jumping knee. I've got hits on him there, but I did take a shot myself. With the guys, that was lucky actually. There you go. You see, you can land that from really deep. Throw should kill him though, which it does. Right, round 2. With Sagat as well, it's about kind of not getting greedy really, because if you wait for him to fall into that fireball kind of pattern, which is what you want really, you want him to do 2 fireballs, one after the other, and then you can jump over the second one and hit him with something like that. But if you go for a sweep, sometimes what you'll find is you'll do a tiger uppercut and catch you with it like there. Like if I would have jumped there, he plays the game fairly cleverly, to be honest. Sagat does. Oh, and I say that as he walks straight into a fireball. Mint. Right, final boss. M. Bison. Guy who's organised our whole tournament. There we go. Can I get throw off? Yeah, that's him done. Good performance, that. So it's just the thing with Bison, you just never know what he's going to do. If you can catch him with a kick on the way up. 2, 3, didn't daze him. Nice, and there we go. 1 credit as advertised. A great playthrough, it can that. A perfect on Bison, incidentally, is worth so much more. It's worth like about 80,000. And there we go. Eliza, bless her, looking a bit, don't know, has she been on a long flight or something? She looks very rigid. Like, she looks like Sweep on the intro of Sweet and Sweet, where he's sitting on that car that's the shape of a giant bone. How wide are Ken's shoulders? Disproportionate. USADA are obviously not testing the Street Fighter tournament at this point. Ken looks absolutely jacked. Straight into his wedding gear. And another victory for the good guys. Ryu and Ken at the centre of the Street Fighter kind of canon really. They're the only ones to have been in all versions, and as we get treated to the staff role at the end, which is quite nice because you get that because we didn't lose a we did it with 1 credit. Everything about Street Fighter 2 is everything that I love about video games. Everything I love about Street Fighter 2 is everything that is good about video games. I can't think of it. It's one of those things, like, I can't think of a bad time in my life when I was playing Street Fighter 2. I don't think to myself, oh man, do you remember that time I was playing Street Fighter 2 and I was really sad? I really don't. Because even if I was sad and had stuff going on, a game of Street Fighter 2 always kind of sorted me out really. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of era-defining. It's a moment, and it goes bigger than video games. It's a cultural moment where everybody knows what they were doing. Everybody remembers the first time they played it. Everybody remembers Street Fighter 2 because it's such a significant cultural kind of happening. It's what we as a generation of gamers have. It's like if you're kind of my age, like 36, I was like 12 when this came out. It's just perfect. Like you can't help but remember what you were doing and where you were, and you can't help but you'll never forget those kind of feelings that you got of when you first saw this and first played this. It's a massive part of just everything that's kind of important to me, and it's a big. I'll be honest with you, it's such a big inspiration to do like a channel like this. I love Street Fighter 2 so much, and I know you lot will do as well. Or you wouldn't be here otherwise. But yeah, dig it out if you've got it. I'm sure you have. We all have. On whatever system you've got it. I've probably got about 20 different versions on about 5 different systems. But dig it out and play it, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is still amazing. Thanks to everybody over the last couple of weeks. Like I say, I'm on holiday, probably as we speak, because the plan is I've recorded a couple of episodes on the same day, and then to kind of tape delay them out of there. So going old school with the tape delay. UK MMA favourite. And so I'll probably try and upload them both and then put this one out kind of in the middle of next week, because like I say, I'm on holiday. I'm looking forward to a bit of time off. But yeah, thanks very much for being a part of this. A real special one, this, for me. And hopefully it's kind of brought all those memories back, and you thought, oh yeah, this is dead important. This is like, these are the I don't know, like it's like when you hear records. When you hear a record that you grew up with, like, you're aware that all the cliches are, these are the sounds of your generation. Like this like is something that bridges everything. Culturally, we're all a part of this. We're all Street Fighter 2. We're all Street Fighter 2, the Will Warrior. If you're of that age and you play video games, you can't help but have been kind of touched by this game or affected by this game. There was one at a video rental store near me, and I used to regularly walk home and play it, and I met a lot of good friends kind of through there, and some people I still speak to, some people I haven't spoken to in years, do you know what I mean? But like we all had one thing in common. We were all kind of the kids of that age who just couldn't get enough of this. It's a very, very important kind of piece of video game history. So, with the serious stuff aside, like I say, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't before. I think I'm on 40 odd at the moment. So yeah, if I can get it up to 50, then yeah, I'll get some stuff made, and then I'll pick a winner at random. And one of you good people will have to send me your address, and I'll send you some One Credit Classic merchandise in the post, just to say thanks, really, because do you know what I mean? I'm just a kind of lucky nerd with a lot of time on my hands and a very supporting wife, but I can't tell you how much I love doing this. Thanks very much, and I will speak to you on the next one. Take care.